Oh my.
Well, did you
Good
hear that
afternoon.
as well?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yes.
Yeah.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining in today. So, I got a special treat today. I'm not sure if you can see the resemblance or not. Side profile, side profile. I do
No.
have the honor of speaking with my oldest son, Caleb, today. So, mate, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
How are you?
Good, thank you. So yeah, it's going to be a different conversation today. Obviously, it's still focused around mental health and men's health, but it's my son who we're talking to today. So and I will be obviously talking to Jackson, who is Caleb's younger brother, in due course, because I want to get his opinion. And obviously, if you can't see a family resemblance between Caleb and I, you'll definitely be seeing one with Jackson and I, that's for sure. So, welcome, son. Thank you for joining this conversation this afternoon. So, I really appreciate it. So, yeah,
No, thanks for having me.
that's okay. So, obviously, it's going to be it's a different conversation. Obviously, it's just father and son, but
Mm.
we don't really want to focus on that. It's more about a an acceptance within somebody your age, so
Mm.
22, who kind of having a different perspective about mental health, men's health within the community. I know because obviously you live down in Brisbane, and I'm interested to know what's the overall acceptance of mental health with people your own age, like especially in Brisbane.
Um, the acceptance, like
Yeah,
whether
yeah,
that be good mental health and bad mental health.
yeah. Just in overall,
Um,
because there's a lot of different people, obviously that you engage with on a day-to-day basis, but you interact with different people that I may in, interact with, like, and we're obviously talking about a whole range of spectrums, whether it be straight, gay, young, old, men, women, all that kind of stuff. Different backgrounds so as well.
yeah, well, I think the younger, well, my generation, the the rate of mental health that we have is probably the worst out of all the generations.
Yeah,
Like
right.
the, and when I say that, I mean like a lot of young people have pretty bad mental health. Um, but I think our generation is the most accepting and open to it.
Mm.
Open's probably not the right word because we should all be open to it, but like that's just for lack of a better word. Um, yeah, I think our generation is doing the most about it, and they're the most proactive about it. Um, but yeah, I think it's the worst out of all the generations.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine earlier today, who you have met before,
Mm,
and she's a little bit younger than me, but roughly the same age, give or take a couple of years.
mm,
And we were talking about that, and I do think that it's a generation thing as well. You know,
yeah,
when I was growing up, there was not much involved when it came to mental health. Um,
yeah,
and then when I'm experiencing mental health issues, when I'm trying to relay that to my own family, for example, my own children, and I would say I've been pretty open and honest with any issues that I've had when it comes to mental health,
mm,
and and I agree with you in the way that it's more um, there's more it's more receptive when it comes to mental health for someone your age. But
yeah.
in saying that as well, what you're saying, you find that there's more, a lot of people around
It's more
you.
prominent
It
in the
is,
younger
yeah,
generation. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. And
right.
I think like, and when I mean like people are a lot more accepting of it, it's more so like within our own generation are the people that are like proactive about it and kind and
Yeah.
receptive about it.
Yeah.
Like even a lot of my friends, even from uni, they go to therapy and things like that, which is, I would say, it's like pretty unusual. Not like anymore, but like like I feel like a while ago, like your generation, if you went to therapy when you were my age, like I don't think you would see that very often.
No, and
Um,
and you're quite true on that. I think the first time I went to any sort of therapy or even just to speak with somebody was probably 1995.
yeah,
So I would have been, I don't know,
like
20, I would have been probably a couple of years older than you are now.
yeah,
Yeah. And even that didn't feel like I was talking to a therapist. I think it
yeah,
was just somebody to talk to. But there was a lot going on in that time, and it definitely helped. But yes, it's interesting what you're saying about a lot of it's more accepting, I would think, in
mm,
your generation, but in saying that there's a lot of people who are suffering from mental health.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and
I
is
think
there?
everyone
Yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah. That's it. And I suppose it's knowing who to reach out to as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I know
I
that.
mean,
Yeah, go on.
no, you go. Yeah,
I think knowing who to reach out to and um who to speak to and ask for help, like whether it be um a partner, whether it be parents, grandparents, friends at uni, whoever, and it's and I'm putting my father's hat on now. It's like talking to do and you can be totally honest. It doesn't worry me at all. But I know for me, I wouldn't have back in the day. I wouldn't have felt comfortable talking to family about any issues. I'm not
mm,
sure what it's like now. I know I've been pretty open and honest with you and Jackson about any issues that I've had,
yeah,
and you obviously guys know what I do when it comes to promoting men's health, especially and women's health as well. So
yeah,
it's kind of nothing new to you, I would think. I
yeah,
yeah, I know.
yeah. No, it's not like I I don't know. I don't remember a lot of times where I've spoken to you on like a deeper level about my mental health, but like I knew I could if I had to. Like
Yeah,
it was never, yeah, it definitely wasn't like, well, what I assumed to be you and your parents. Um, yeah, like I always knew I could talk about it. I don't think I ever really
need
had
to.
to.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Or
I mean,
yeah,
there were definitely times I had to, but I don't think I did. But like, it wasn't out of fear of being judged or you just saying, oh, like just just forget about it or
yeah,
just things like that.
yeah, and that's fine. It's hard to. I think yeah, you definitely have to have that open relationship, not just with. And I'm not saying this as a parent, but with loved ones, people that you care about and love and trust because they're there to support you and yeah and this is not a father saying this. This is just just anyone in general saying it. Having that
Yeah.
support. What's it like with obviously you're at uni. What's it like with is there support
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you study?
there's lots of aside from obviously your friends, like you can always, well, I mean, if you have good friends, you can always talk to them. But yeah, there is some stuff that my uni offers um at I can't remember the name, but just like the student center. Um and even our lecturers and our teachers like are always there. Um like I've never had to really talk about any sort of that stuff with one of my teachers, but one of the teachers there, his name's also Caleb. Um, I know he's really good. Like one of my friends was sort of going through something recently with um, another person at uni, and he was there and helped her out and things like that. And even his boss as well. They all had a meeting, and him
Yeah.
and his boss offered some really good support and changed a few things to make the whole situation a little bit better. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, there's definitely stuff there, and there's lots of events. Not lots of events, but there's things like that pop up randomly. Like they'll have some Griffith staff there with some like lollies, and you get to talk to them about things. And actually, the other day they had a guy with lollies, and if you take a sticker and there was this big whiteboard with a bunch of different things like that the uni should offer or do a bit better on. Like I can't remember all of them, but I put my sticker
Hmm.
on like disability and accessibility. Uh,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, there's things like that that happen uh, somewhat frequently.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's definitely a good support network where I study.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's great. And I was thinking that because you're going to get a lot of students who are really young
Yeah,
and literally have just come out of high school, gone
yeah,
straight to uni. So it's a massive um, gap between school and uni. There's huge
yeah.
difference. So having that support is kind of like, I would think it'll be kind of similar to O Week, when you're walking around
Mm.
knowing where to go to and all that kind of stuff. I know have events on and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's the case.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So that's really good.
yeah,
Especially coming from a small outback town, moved to a big
yeah,
city, finding friends and stuff like that. It would be pretty hard, especially for an 18-year-old who's never left home, for example. So,
yeah,
and I think for for your situation, it worked out well that
yeah,
you've got a good support behind you, which is
yeah, yeah, exactly.
positive, and you need that. How many kids want to rely on their parents to talk about stuff and without
Yeah,
feeling judged and stuff like that. I'm sure that will never change. It's always going to be like that. I'm assuming.
yeah,
Yeah. How are
yeah.
you?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, go on.
oh yeah, no, no, I was just gonna just agreeing with you.
Yeah. Um, with your work, because we won't go into too much detail about what you do, but there's a support network with them as well, because it's what
From
you do outside of uni can be challenging sometimes with the
yeah,
people
I
that you
do.
deal with.
Do you mean like is there support for me?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked a lot at it, um, and it kind of depends because, well, like I'm just gonna say, like I'm an independent support worker, like a
yeah,
disability support worker, because it's gonna be hard to explain without that
yeah,
context.
yeah. That's fine.
Um, it kind of depends if you're working independently, which is what I do, but I also work through a service on my phone that connects me with clients and takes care of my wages.
Yeah,
Um, so there is stuff on their app or on their website um, regarding like mental health support and things like that. I haven't looked a lot at it, um, but I know there is because you have to look at everything when you first start using this service. Um, but it can definitely be hard if you're an independent support worker or if you're with an agency where they kind of. I've never worked with an agency, but from what I've heard, can be really hard because they just put you with clients and you never met them, which is obviously like that's going to happen when you first meet someone. But e- either you might not be the right fit or you might not be comfortable with them, and you can be forced to continue working with them um, because everyone needs to work. So Yeah, it could be hard. I'm not sure what kind of services that they offer, agencies and such.
Yeah,
Because I have no experience with them. But yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. It kind of just depends what area you're in, and who you're working with. Like, I work with a younger person. He's a bit younger than me, but I can talk to his mum if if we're having issues or anything. Not that there's ever any issues, but if there were to be, I can always talk to his mum. With my other client, he's a lot older than me, and I only talk to him. And I talk to his other support workers as well. So I've definitely, if if I've had a really hard time with him, which I have a few times, I always know I can talk to his other support worker. Her name's Deb,
yeah,
and she's great. She's been a support worker for probably longer than I've been alive, and she's worked in everything from hospitals and the dementia ward to just
mm,
being a support worker. So I've definitely spoken to her uh, many times about stuff that I'm going through with my client.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess it just depends sort of what area you're working in. But I'd say
So that
most of the time, it's there's some sort of support system.
yeah, yeah. So there's that when we're looking at what you do, there
Yeah,
is even though you're a independent support worker, you
yeah,
can reach out to other. There's like a network that you can reach out and speak with other people.
yeah, yeah. I mean, only because I know the other support workers that also work with my client.
Yeah,
Um, but in saying that, that client, I do use the service on my phone, so I can also use that if need be. But
yeah, yeah, and that's good. When we're thinking, so someone who's going through high school, was there? So obviously, when I was going through school, it was a very long time ago. So there was nothing. So there was no conversation about mental health whatsoever,
yeah,
at all. But when we're talking to somebody, especially a young male, when there's talk about mental health in high school, for example, and we're not going to pinpoint schools or anything, but in a from your experience, was there talk around mental health when it was involved with high school?
not really. Like, I think it's probably different now. But I mean, I graduated 5 years ago in 2020, and yeah, I from what I remember, not really any talk.
Yeah, right.
Maybe maybe a little bit. Like, I feel like they would only talk about it if something happened,
Yeah,
whatever that may be, if
yeah.
there was an incident. But there was always a guidance counselor there.
Mm.
Um, she was really lovely. I never really saw her that much. Like, I met her. The only reason I actually knew her is because she lived on Bowden Street. Um, and I saw her once and
Okay, yeah,
recognized her. But yeah, she there was always a guidance counselor there, but they never really spoke about it at all.
okay.
Um, but I think
Do you think that would there have been a reason for that, or like you
a
said,
reason why they didn't talk about it.
yeah, like well, like you said, it may have only been brought up in conversation if something had happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think it's pretty hard to pinpoint a reason why they didn't talk about it.
yeah, that's fine.
Um, I think it's just the way it was. I guess it wasn't even that long ago. Like, but yeah. I don't know. I couldn't tell you why they didn't talk about it.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Um,
But you'd think maybe I would think probably, and I suppose it depends on the school as well. And not saying that you didn't go to a great school, but I
yeah,
think
yeah,
I think from then. throughout the year, especially when COVID happened and all that kind of stuff, I think there would have been a shift in how it was perceived in school. I'm not sure if you would agree with that or not.
Yeah, I think so, but I think that would have happened after I left because when I was in
Yeah,
grade 12, that was the peak COVID time. Like when I was in grade 12, my second term was completely online.
yeah,
That was like the absolute peak, and you couldn't go outside. Um, yeah, everything was online. Our formal was like what do they used to say, like socially distanced.
yeah, yeah,
Like that was a peak time. So I think, and then coming back to school after that, that was just all you would talk about was
yeah.
COVID, and
Yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
it.
it kind of got put on the back burner, I guess. But I think after I left high school, I think it's definitely better now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it has to be. Like I obviously don't know that because I don't go to high school, but
yeah,
I assume just with everything that's going on in the world, and like back to what I was saying earlier, like there was definitely teachers that cared and tried and went like an extra mile, like to do things. And like the teachers, they know when something is going on
yeah,
with the student. Um, so yeah, I think kind of the only way they would talk about it is if they saw something going on.
yeah.
Um,
Do you think a student would feel comfortable talking to a teacher about stuff? It's
Probably
probably
not. It
no.
depends, I guess, like on their relationship. I could
Yeah,
definitely think of a few teachers that I would talk to.
yeah,
Um, I think it is on the teacher's job to make that connection.
yeah,
Because like as much as they are there to teach, like for some kids, that could be the only responsible adult in their life is their English teacher. Like,
yeah,
so I think most teachers like they know that, like they would go the extra mile. Um, you know, and there's only so much they can do, but I think most teachers would be willing to, you know, be like, a very good role model
supportive.
and present and
Yeah,
yeah, support in their life.
yeah, because
Um,
that's interesting what you're saying that that's you really don't know what's going on in somebody's life.
exactly. And it's so easy to judge.
That's true.
Everyone's guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. Like
Yeah. Oh,
it's
everyone
really,
has been.
really
Yeah,
easy to judge someone when you know nothing about them. Um,
exactly. Yeah,
but yeah, you just have to try and be proactive about it, I guess. Like it's just yeah, and it's just a nature thing, really. Like yeah,
that is. Yeah, it is human nature just to judge someone on their appearance.
yeah,
You
yeah,
you take one look at me and you'll get a lot of people judging. Um, but and in saying that, and it doesn't bother me in the slightest. But I know when when you mention me or you talk about me to friends and stuff, when they see me, their initial
mm,
reaction was, "Oh, look at your dad." Um, and I know, it doesn't bother me how I represent myself and what I do because I know what
yeah,
I do is raise an awareness for men's health. And when we're talking about men's health, it's people like yourself, your age, that sometimes people forget. Sometimes a lot of the focus is on older men, like older than me,
mm,
and sometimes the younger generation gets missed. And
yeah,
that's a really key focus on the conversation we're having tonight is the understanding from your point of view, a 22-year-old young man, what your experience will be like. And I think in the future, when you become a parent, I think you're going to be have the understanding of what men's health, mental health means to your kids, for example. because
Yeah.
like the conversation I was having earlier today with a friend of mine, it's definitely a generational thing.
Yeah.
Like when I was growing up, there was no talk about it. Obviously, when you've grown up and when you're turned into a young adult, there's definitely a lot more focus around mental health. And we're not just talking about men's health as well. This is obviously about women's health.
Yeah.
But, a lot of people get missed out. You get lost within the system when we're talking about someone who's young, who's in their late teens, early 20s. So we
Yeah.
obviously can't forget about you guys because basically you're the future. What I've instilled with you and your brother, hopefully that's going to be forwarded when you become a parent. And I know it will. I reckon I know you'll be a great father. You'll have that, and you have that support from your family as well. And you know that. So
Yeah.
need to take my parent hat off now. So, but it's I think it's good having a good insight about what you've experienced, what you've seen, and what you've learned.
Yeah.
I think if anybody who's listening tonight who has, if you could give one piece of advice to somebody, what would that be?
I don't know. It's hard. Like, I think the most important thing is like honesty. Like whether it's good or bad. Like, if you've done something bad, you just have to be honest about it. Like, because it's only going to get worse. And yeah, and it doesn't always have to be about bad things. Like, you just have to be honest because no one's gonna read your mind. Um, but in saying that, like sometimes it's really hard to be honest about things, and especially if you're not doing so great, like if you're experiencing poor mental health, or it can be really hard to ask for help and be honest about it
Yeah,
and kind of face. Because I feel like some people, if they're struggling, they go into denial and they think it's like a bad thing to not be okay, which just only makes it worse, and they don't want help, um,
yeah.
and they
I
just go
think
into denial about it.
yeah, I think sometimes it's some people don't know where to start.
Yeah, yeah, and that's because no one in their life is you know guiding them about like through this sort of stuff or setting any examples. Or
Yeah,
I think that's why it's so important for this stuff to be in schools, because like what I said before, like some kids, like that's the teachers and stuff, like that's their role models. Like they could have, their parents couldn't, they might not be around, or even if they are, they're not really there. Things like that. Like it's very important that it's in schools.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, yeah, I don't know. That's a really like hard question.
and that's fine. You've answered it very well. So
Yeah,
no, I do appreciate that.
yeah,
All right, mate. I'm going to leave you alone. I think we've had a really good insight tonight, and I do appreciate the option to have a chat with you as a father and son, and also
yeah,
just as two men that
yeah,
need to talk about mental health. So obviously, with Movember coming up, it's pretty important that we seek the support. And obviously, the conversation we've had today, it's my opinion, it's Caleb's opinion, it's what we've experienced in our lifetime. We are not trained professionals. If there is support, if you need support, there is support out there. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help. It's that first step to asking for help, and you never know where that's going to lead you to. So,
yeah.
all right, I appreciate it. I really do. Okay,
No, no. Thanks for having me. It was good. Good time.
it's all good. All right.
Cool.
All right, mate. I love you. I'll speak to you
Yeah.
soon. Okay.
Love you too. See you later.
Bye.